Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is F1 2018 Manager Challenge Mode. It's week 53 of the Game of Decathlon competition. We are at Silverstone here in season number 2. We've got a new upgrade on the car, weight redistribution. The plank has been reworked. We still have one R&D upgrade necessary. It's going to take a little over 500 points to get that major front downforce upgrade completed. So that's where our next 130 points or so are going to be going to get that one completed. Let's see if we can go grab enough points to make that happen. Quick glance at the team goal, 4 championship points. Not happening. 8th or better. Not happening. So that one will be failed at the end of this race, sadly. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. As per the instructions of the Manager Challenge mode, by now you've probably seen previous episodes and know what's going on. But here's the recap once again.
Formula 1 racing in Great Britain, where shortly we're expecting the cars to appear for today's practice session. Anthony,
3 flying laps in all of practice total.
Integrated into the car, okay. With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so give them a try.
Which is going to provide very limited R&D points. No redos, no try-agains. 3 points. Whoa, we're on the hard tires, huh? Let's take a look at the team objectives and see where I can pick up some extra qualifying programs, an extra 5 points. Fuel management's going to be...
We have a number of programs to run during these practice sessions. You can check the details in the car monitor. We'll get good data for both the race and factory teams, so they're well worth running.
Let's see, do I have a setup here yet? No, there's this little chunk of the year where I still have no setup available. And it looks like here is one of those. So nothing that I'm going to gain through here. So I guess we might as well jump into the attract acclimatization and see what we can do. It's going to take 405 points to get green. The purple could be unlikely. It's been a little while since I've been here, and it's definitely a tougher circuit to master. The rhythm section, Maggotts and Beckett's in particular, is a difficult one unless you nail it just right. Alright, here we go. Flying lap number 1. I think I remember coming through here and getting 0 points last year. Out of the back stretch here. Ooh, getting some oversteer here. I don't like this setup very much. I am not aiming for purple necessarily. I think I'm just trying to target a clean lap, clean enough to get green. Oh, come on. So there you go. The amount of pace in there leaves no room for error. No room for variation on the line whatsoever to hit that apex just right. You have to have a whole lot of speed, but you've also got to carry it through there, and I did not do that quite the way they wanted, so that one red is gonna hurt. Sacrifice purple there to get green. We'll start the coasting through here. This will make it a lot easier to get through and not mess it up. It does mean that I will get green, but those couple of greens, actually I still ended up getting mostly purple. Ooh, I had to slow down coming out of there as I had too much pace. It was going to push me off onto the tarmac. So we've already got green, so we're good there. I think we're... Oh! Ooh, recovered.
Good work. You seem to have a solid handle on the lap.
Yeah, 30 points shy of purple.
Remember that chaining good corners together will give you a consistency bonus.
That's okay. We're heading back to the garage anyway. That was the first flying lap complete. Forgot I wasn't aiming for gates anymore. I shot over to the gate and set myself off. Quite a few greens, just the one red. And that's, what is that, Cops and
1 minute,
3, 4, 5.
38.5.
Still learning those names. They're relatively new to me. Didn't pay attention to it until about a year ago, where it was like, okay, they've got all these funky names when you go to Britain for all the corners, instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, just recently started learning those. But yeah, we messed up. We got optimal on the speed there for 5, but after the exit from 3 and 4, the line was off a little bit, could not recover it. But there's one, and it's green. Let's go into the ERS management, which is definitely the easiest one for me. Here we go, on to lap number 2. Looks like we could be in for a dry race, which is certainly not always the case when you come to Silverstone. Ooh, there's that oversteer again. Not a fan of it. I may just change the setup after this lap. Just something I'm going to handle a little better, because this oversteer is not good. Alright, turn down the ERS deployment so that we can start working on the status. Get that healthily through green and into purple status. And meanwhile, our lap time is looking pretty good, so I think we've got no problems making that as long as we don't mess up the lap. Which the oversteer issues, the stability issues, not so good. So already a bad line here as we head into Maggots, Beckett's. Not so clean through there. I do lose a little bit of time, but not a significant chunk, and we're still well on our way here. We do still have to get through the rest of the lap cleanly, though, and then we will be on our way to purple. And then back up to medium as we are comfortably in purple now. There's that oversteer again. Had to back out of it, but we're good. Purple.
That last lap gives you P3. We're in P3 now.
Wow, P3? That wasn't that good of a lap. But that's what happens when the AI difficulty level is down a little bit. But that's also part of that challenge, right? Some of it's made doable. Some of it's made quite difficult. Alright, so the 50 points we lost on the track acclimatization is now down to an evaluation of 40 points lost. So looking better on that front. We've also picked up a little bit of bonus points, and we're going to use the qualifying pace for our last one. That gives us a chance at another 5 points picked up. Go for a little more downforce here. See if it gives us some better control as we go into the qualifying pace. That's also going to give us 5 points for the car setup as well. So if we screw something else up, at least we'll pick that up. It is hard to change that on the fly and just go into the next lap, but we'll give it a go. I do not like the handling. Oh, that felt much better through there. Oh, car feels so much better. Now the big thing is whether we still have some pace, but no oversteer. Not suffering from the oversteer at all. Now it's just down to the pace. Okay, we're now into the green. Alright, 0.3 of a second up. We do lose a little bit of that on the straight. There's only the one left to go though, so the rest of the track should benefit from the changes. And yes, we are up to half a second now. Well, I guess technically there was 3 sections where we were going to lose a little bit of time. Right here is one of those. We just lost 2 seconds, or 0.2 of a second getting through here. There goes another 1/10 of a second. We are still in the green, but we are definitely not at purple at the moment. Pick it back up though. We get back to 0.6 of a second. We do pick up the 5 points there for going fast through Sector 2. And we pick up some more time through there. Great line through there, and that's going to help us out. 0.9 of a second. That's good enough for purple. Good.
So come on back to the garage and I can talk you through the numbers.
Okay, so 13th was the predicted time there. I did lose a little bit. I'm slower. Flat out. I was definitely slower than I had been on previous laps. I had the stability. And that matters more right now than that little more pace. So damage limitation continues. We pick up the 40 points for purple, and meaning our original 50 points lost is now down to just 30. So completed all 3 programs. Almost maximum points. We also add the 5 points for the car setup. So we actually dropped it a further 5 points down to 25 points lost. We've got 25 points just in team objectives right there, so that's good. We also have 669, which means we are going to head out of this practice session. And Leclerc, 9th fastest. I am fastest so far. Of course, that's not representative.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind
Bottas
ourselves
does go
of the top
faster
3.
by a
Who
tiny,
are
tiny margin.
Bottas, the Professor, and Max
6
Verstappen.
100ths of a second.
That's it for practice then. We'll see you again.
It's got to be worth some points. $290. That's good. That brings us up to 709. And it boosts the team profile a little bit. It's not looking so nasty anymore. It's still not looking good, but we're a little bit lifted up out of the danger zone. But of course, after this race, we are not going to score 4 Drivers' Championship points. That's going to continue to haunt me for a long, long time. That will drop my team reputation a good bit. So I am worried about that. Let's go ahead and get our upgrade completed. This time it will not fail, as it's a fix. Unlike Ferrari in real life, who kept having, let's see, their under tray, their barge board, right, kept having problems. They tried it again and again this season. I think the last time they tried it was in Japan. Never did work out for them. But there you go. Germany, 0% chance of failure. Major upgrade. That will help, especially with the handling of the car. But just 159 points left, so it's time to sit back for a while and just have a go at things. But in the progress history, you can see at the start of season number 2, Williams was quite close to us, and we had a pretty big gap above us. We're a little closer to Toro Rosso now than we were at the start of the season, but we've made some pretty steady progress here. We've only had one race where we have not had at least one upgrade. Oh, no, that would be 2. Canada and France. That's 2 races there. But everywhere else, we've had at least one upgrade. Back to season 1. Let's see how and where we hovered and how we dropped back as the season went on. It was hard to get points, and Williams made up a lot of ground to get really close to us. Okay, let's check the car out. We got 42, 9, 23, 21, 21, 11%, so everything's looking pretty good there. Gearbox practice is just at 13, and the event one at 36. Alrighty. Looking at the standings, Leclerc has his 2 points. We've still got 5 drivers without any points this season. Grosjean, surprisingly, in the Haas has just 1 point this season. And for us, it's been a string of 18s with a couple 17s mixed in so far this season. We'll see if we do any better today. Let's go ahead and jump into qualifying. It's that time. Because again, the rules, I never did finish going through that earlier. 3 flying laps in practice, all you get. We've already done that. Now we jump into one-shot qualifying. And the final piece, the true management piece of this, we simulate the races. So you get very limited R&D points, and it's up to the AI on those results. Okay, we are dry for the race. Yeah. Alright, qualifying. Real chance to make up some quality points here if I can put in a decent lap. Again, I'm not going to have tremendous pace, so I don't expect a super time. But if I do get around 13th, where we were in our practice run, that would definitely be good enough for some decent R&D points.
This is a track that...
And as we're simulating full races, it has very little impact on the outcome. Alright. Well, let's get to it. One-shot qualifying, on the go. We're going to be a little slower here as we're set up for downforce, so I expect that almost immediately we're going to see a car pulling out ahead of us. And there you go. And we actually did pretty well so far to not lose much. So Hamilton currently the provisional pole through this part of the lap. But we are still right here in it. Our turning capability is helping a lot. Here, the power of the Mercedes engine showing its stuff, pulling away from us. I almost messed my lap up by trying too hard to get through there. Still a good lap. We made up some time through Maggots and Decades, but we are definitely down on the leader, but not significantly behind, so this is still going to be a good lap time. Just not up there with those top 6. There we go. How did we do?
Nice job.
15th. Okay. We didn't do so hot. Lap actually felt better than that, but
As we wind down from the
not so.
excitement of qualifying,
Hamilton,
here's a
Ricardo,
look at your
Raikkonen,
top
Bottas,
three.
Vettel,
Hamilton,
and Verstappen
Ricardo,
on the top
and
6.
Kimi
Alonso,
Raikkonen.
best of the
Goodbye
rest.
for now then,
I
but
am
we're
ahead
just
of my
getting started.
teammate for a
Make sure
change,
to join us again for
with
Lights
myself
Out
15th,
tomorrow.
and he's in 17th. Williams in the back, with one McLaren behind us and one McLaren at the very top. What a gap there is between the two, with Hartley sandwiched between my teammate and I. And there's Grosjean again, all the way down in 14th. Expected qualifying was 19th, so that should still be a decent time for me. And here's an
Do you
interview
think this
with
team are
Claire.
performing as well as they could do? It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race?
Okay. Chassis, there we go.
Appreciate your time.
That'll make the chassis department happy. Alright, well, our job is done. Now it's on to the AI to go and screw it up for us yet again. New rivalry, 5 straight victories for Charles Leclerc. And for the first time, I'm in the lead! For now. I got an 80. 20 points short of what it could have been. But we do pick up another 130 points, and this should boost our reputation. It does, only slightly though. A little disappointing because we're about to see a huge
Very
hit.
solid results. You're
Hopefully we
looking
get a
good for the
decent
race.
finish, which will help counter what happens with the upcoming failure of goal, as we are not scoring 4 points. I've never finished higher than 16th yet. And I've only done that once. There we go, simulate session. And what'll it be? Will this finally be the race where we put in a decent result?
It's a good result
No,
for Sebastian
not yet.
Vettel, who moves further
Nor
ahead
is it
to the top
Leclerc.
of the table. And now
Vettel
I'd
wins
like to
from
ask
5th
you,
though.
Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Probably Stoffel Van Dorn.
Alonso
You
in
know,
7th.
strong pace,
In
good
5th,
work
I
with the
mean.
strategy, just a very complete drive, I think.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time, though, goodbye.
Ferrari with a 67-point lead. Red Bull re-overtakes Mercedes. A lot of back and forth between those two teams here of late. And Hamilton 46 points behind Vettel in the championship at the moment. Ricardo is still quite close behind, and all the way down to 6th place. Second to 6th anyway, is pretty close. Alonso moves up to 8th in the standings after his outstanding finish. Grosjean manages to get ninth place to pick up 2 points. I think that was his first of the season, was it not? No, he had 1 point. Now he has 3. So that was his best finish of the season thus far. So Leclerc goes 16th, I go 18th, a lap down. Nearly a second worse than Leclerc on his best, and barely finishing ahead of Sorokin, who actually did a 2-stopper. So there you go, another P18 performance, which at least contract-wise gets the job done, as I've got it set down to P19, and we are definitely better than Williams of late. I've consistently finished, and that's where we started to gain a little bit of ground on that whole "you're gonna get fired" thing that we've been on the verge of for a long time. But there you go. Good race weekend, and I still lose a point to Charles Leclerc because we never finish above him. Ever. Have I had a single race above Leclerc? I don't think so. Maybe one. $78 points is all we managed to pick up. That takes us to 451. This is going to hurt. Team goal failed. And there goes the dip in the reputation. It drops a good amount. We move closer to veteran. I thought for sure once we got to veteran, the AI performance would start improving, and it hasn't. It really, really hasn't. So we will always be limited by
We've
that.
received invitations to new historic events. You'll be able to choose whether or not to participate before the end of this weekend.
And we head to Hockenheim, to Germany, for the next round in the championship.
Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Lots of messages. What do we have? Oh, come on. Again, the goal is impossible. Score 4 championship points. We've never scored 1, Emma. Not 1 point. And you've actually increased the target, because it used to be 2. Now it's 4. But front downforce, the front wing end plates have been upgraded, and that's a major upgrade, so that's going to have a significant impact. We are in for a nice dry race weekend, and now the development update. Ouch. We make a major upgrade and lose ground to everybody above us. Looks like McLaren had a major upgrade. Force India and Toro Rosso both had at least a major upgrade plus a minor upgrade, if not more. And Williams also has at least a minor upgrade themselves entering this race weekend. So luckily we had that upgrade. Otherwise it would have hurt badly. But we seemingly make no progress of any kind. And that sucks. That sucks horribly. You can see that Mercedes is now third best. No wonder Red Bull keeps overtaking them in the standings, with Renault not that far behind in fourth. And then you see a pretty big gap and a tight midfield from Force India down to Haas, who have been passed up by Toro Rosso and McLaren this week. So Haas, who was barely better than them before, is now worse than. And that's the carrot that we are chasing now. Williams, a decent distance behind us, but not as comfortable as I thought it was. I actually had high hopes
I've been in touch with
for
some
a minute.
contacts at Williams, and they think your attitude and results might be a good fit for their team. We can talk to them at our next contract review if you're interested. Let's see what kind of offer they can put on the table.
I had hopes for a minute there that we would gain enough ground on the field ahead of us that we could occasionally steal a position or two away from those guys, and that Williams would be distanced enough that I could feel comfortable for a little bit so that I could actually try to use some R&D points on factory upgrades and not just part upgrades like I've been forced to. I've overpaid throughout this entire playthrough to keep the car competitive enough to not be the worst, to not be where Williams is. So in my quest to stay ahead of Williams, I've had to use all my points, and then I've had so many upgrades fail and had to go in and spend more points. With some factory upgrades, we can preserve the long term, the longevity of this playthrough. Because if we have a reset right now, we're totally screwed. Totally screwed. Because I don't have a way to cover those, and I certainly wouldn't be able to make any new upgrades, and other teams would just shoot right past us, and there's only one team behind us. And I can't set my contract any lower than 19th. So if we're the worst team on the grid, I will finish in 20th. Guaranteed. The way the AI is. And I'd get fired in a hurry. We had 1 or 2 20th place finishes there in Season 1, I think. And they hurt a lot. Let's see. Season 1. That's Leclerc. There we are. 19, 18, 19. So quite a few 19s there early in the season. And only one 20th place finish. But you could see we were 18 and 19 kind of throughout. And it took a while till we got that contract down to a 19. And 19 is just cutting it. Okay, we did have one 15th place in Monza. So we got 15th in Monza, 16th in France. This season, just 18th in France, and our best finish has been a 17th so far. But we've been consistent, at least, where we've been above 19th, as we are right about halfway now. Well, car's still in decent shape. We don't have any enough for any upgrades at the moment, so we're not going to go for one. So let's head out there and do our 3 laps.
Welcome to a wet Germany for today's practice session here at the world-famous Hockenheim.
Okay, we've got a dry Saturday and Sunday, but we've got a wet Friday.
And has been the scene of many special races over the years. We're expecting the session to start within the next few minutes. Now I'd like...
Okay then, we've fitted some new parts for this session. Hopefully they'll help you squeeze a bit more pace from the car.
Okay, P2's going to be dry for a while. And practice session 3 is going to be dry for a while. So I think we're going to jump into P2. This could hurt us a little bit. But I'm not going to get anything done. Now, though it does set the standard so low on practice,
When you get a chance, make sure to run
but
some
one
of
little
our
slip
practice
and you're screwed.
programs. They don't all need to be done in one session, but there's valuable data there to help race strategy and car.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3.
Alright. Looks like we're at least dry for the start of FP2. Team reputation didn't get hurt. That's good. Alright, how long is it going to be dry? At least for the next 10 minutes. So let's not dilly-dally around. Let's get out on track. Track acclimatization. Let's see. that there is rain in the air, but it's not coming down to the ground. Woo! Hello, hello, hello. Really?
Is the
Back
car giving
curve?
you some
Turning
trouble
around?
out there? Don't be afraid to come in and tweak the setup if you need to. And
Wow,
we can check on a fresh set
yeah,
of
what's
tyres
going
if
on? I
we
can't
get-
even drive. I know I still have some grass on the tire. We're going to return to the garage. We have not started our flying lap. And I am definitely changing the setup because 2 corners and I spun out twice. I'm sure the track condition is not helped, but we are definitely going for some increased downforce.
Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre usage. We have to give 2 sets back at the end of this session, so they'll be unavailable for the rest of the weekend.
Let's try this again, huh? Afraid of the curb now. But that does not feel like it was on the curb. Alright, program underway. I'm a little conservative so far, and yet all purples, so gladly take that. It's one of those tracks that I'm pretty fast on. Nice!
Great
Purple
start.
all!
You pretty much nailed this circuit. This is a really strong foundation.
Awesome! That little tweak to the setup made such a difference. And I'm glad I found out before beginning that flying lap. I didn't have to try to drive that car around to do it in the middle of the first lap and lose out entirely, because I think we could be well on our way to 3 purple flying laps.
Expect to see some rain about 10 to 15
We
minutes
are
from
definitely
now.
doing qualifying program. Let's go do the ERS. Don't want to risk anything, so go with the 3 that we're best at right now until we can get our fuel management improved a bit more. Down to 1 upgrade so far.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
A little late into the lap to get this turned up, but should be okay. Only 0.2 of a second up so far, though. The exit there was a good one, and we pick up... Ooh, hello! I did not see that coming. I was glancing at my onboard. Make sure everything was where I wanted it. That little half turn came up on me fast. Okay, time-wise we're good, and we are drifting towards purple. So at this rate, we will get there well before the lap. In fact, already approaching it now. Ooh, that sausage curve was not there before, was it? There we go, purple!
Good
That was
lap.
not a good lap. I struggled through that lap quite a bit, but we did enough to get purple. And now, the last one, qualifying pace, we've got a chance to get the 60 plus
Our best
another
lap
10,
so
so
far
we
is
turn this into a
1 minute
70-point performance.
17.8.
Final lap before qualifying. What can we get done here? Uh-oh. Woohoo! I almost missed... I messed up the exit for sure. So that's going to be a bad start to our lap, but... I almost crashed. So, glad I saved it. And we're actually green anyway at this point. And that was good enough for the 5 points for Sector 1. Despite the huge mistake. Got on it a little too early. We're actually gaining on Botas of all people, so pace-wise, we're certainly good. Half a second up on the time, despite a few mistakes here, so we could be looking at a top 5 qualifying time. And that was with washout from Botas, so
We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
probably a 9th. Yeah, that was a bad lap and we got 9th. So if I could put together a clean lap, which I won't have any washout from a driver ahead on that, that'll help. Did we pick up? Oh, we didn't get the fast sector 2, so I missed those 5 points. But that was still good. We got 65 of 70 points available on that run. And that was the only 5 points we missed out on entirely. So that's 265 point haul. And the most I could have gotten was 270.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top
Ooh, we
three
were
again
fastest
are the
in free
Professor,
practice
Perez,
2, and Leclerc was
Lewis
5th
Hamilton.
fastest.
Thank you for joining us for free practice today. We'll be back with more Formula One.
Could this be the race that Charles Leclerc gets
performance out there.
points?
He must be really happy.
and I get like 15?
You had the fastest time in practice. Will we see similar times in qualifying?
Let's go ahead and give some props to the engine department.
How does your car stack up to the others in the wet? Is it competitive?
Sure. I've got to push the team, right?
Great. Well, that's everything.
That's right. It rained later in the session after we ran our 3 laps. That's why they're asking about the rain. I never ran a lap in the rain, though. Okay, so it's time for one-shot qualifying. Final lap here in Hockenheim before we sim that race. Great points haul there. 320 grabbed, 830 overall. I feel like we can afford to make one factory upgrade. Just something, somewhere. Boy, Williams loves us. It would be nice if our team loved us. It's that team goals thing that keeps hurting us. They keep making impossible goals. So, let's see. Where are we? Chassis and powertrain would be a good place to go because I'm going to get... No, wait. Am I going to get a discount? No. The discount is not there. The discount would be here. Yeah, there's the discount. That's tire wear. We are last in the chassis. I don't want to spend those points though. I truly want to do something to... It's 1,000 points. It's only 500 to decrease the quality control though. Improvement there. I mean, that takes away 7.5% chance of failure. And I mean, we're talking about 500 points. I just spent 550 to fix this one. So that might be a good... Let's do it. Yay, upgrade! Without an upgrade. But I am happy with that. Let's go ahead and get to our one-shot qualifying.
Welcome to Germany for today's qualifying session at the famous Hockenheim ring. The pit lane lights will turn green in the next minute or two to signify the start of qualifying. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davis.
No. Let's get to it. We're out of time. Alright, going to the track. It's dry, it's cleared up, so it's going to be even faster here. And I am in the lead at the moment. That first corner is one that I can take that curve a little bit, and I take it more than the other guys do. And it's definitely a place where I gain a little time. We are very much in the lead so far. Ugh. Bit too deep in there though. We're still in the pole at the moment. No, we're not. Not anymore. It's Vettel now. Oof. That was bad. That was bad. Pick up a little ground there, though. Don't wreck. Don't wreck. Woo-hoo. Still a good time. Still a good time. We did lose a little bit, but there we go. P11. That's going to be worth some valuable points. No, I did not crack the top 5. So no bonus for qualifying for my game of Decathlon, but I'm ahead of Leclerc.
Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
And it's Raikkonen, Bottas, and Verstappen behind those 3. I am going to be starting right behind Alonso, with Grosjean splitting Leclerc, and I with Williams in the back. So that's still a well done qualifying. That one chief mistake dropped me a good 5 places, but
you must be really happy.
it's a good lap otherwise.
Are you happy with where you'll be on the grid tomorrow?
Let's go ahead and make the aero department happy as well.
It looks like you got bested today. What happened there?
No. How did I get bested? I'm ahead of him by 2 spots.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, that was odd. And that was not the end of the rivalry. We're still just in the very beginning of this time on the rivalry. So that was a very unusual question from Claire, as I will be starting ahead of him. Ah, see, we're level in the rivalry at the moment. So I'm not sure how I got bested. He's bested me 5 times. And he's going to best me a 6th time, probably, but he didn't best me today. $150 points. I will take that very happily. Team. Only a little happy with an 11th place. Wow. A little surprised it wasn't
Well
more,
done.
but
That was a good qualifying performance.
let's go straight into it because we are out of time here. Let's see
And
how
after
we
this
do in the
round of the
race.
World
Neither
Championship,
of us in the
here's
top
how things look
14.
in the
Vettel
driving'
wins
state.
another
It's a good
race.
result for Sebastian Vettel, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the
18th
day?
again.
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon.
From
He's
10th
just so
to
gifted
18th.
at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
On to the constructors then. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
Ferrari by 79 points. Vettel by 53 points over Hamilton now, with Ricciardo in 3rd. And in the race, it was the same top 3, with Raikkonen, Bottas, and Alonso behind them. Verstappen all the way down in 9th, with Ocon up to 8th place there. Magnussen gets 1 point for Haas. Hartley just misses out on Toro Rosso's first points of the season. And in the back again, 16th for Leclerc, 18th for me, with the 2 Williams bringing up the rear. And Leclerc, of course, had the faster lap time by half a second, even though I outqualified him yet again. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Ouch, 43 points. So. Decent boost to the team, right? Bye for now.